Greetings, session heads. In this episode, I'm going to answer the question, where the puck is Oak Creek, Colorado? During my recent travels to the Steamboat Springs area, I was lucky enough to book a gig in the town of Oak Creek, Colorado, at a tavern appropriately named the Oak Creek Tavern. And as soon as I booked this show, the first thought in my head and the first words out of everyone's mouths whom I told this to were, where in the world is Oak Creek, Colorado? I've lived in Colorado most of my life, more than I've lived anywhere else. I travel all over the state and I had never been to, nor had I even heard of Oak Creek, Colorado. So I was curious. I went online and found that the Wall Street Journal had written up the Oak Creek Tavern and referred to it as a long-held dream. Denver Westward called it the center of the universe, so I was very intrigued. When I drove down to Oak Creek, I found that it was a really nice, quintessential little western Colorado mountain town. It has a few bars and restaurants and some shops. There's a really nice outdoor Mexican cantina called Lupita's. There's a coffee shop. There's a mining museum with terrifyingly large mining equipment outside. And right on Main Street sits the Oak Creek Tavern, where it has sat since 1908. And I bet it hasn't changed much since that time. There's a lot of history on those walls. There's a lot going on. But one thing they have is a slight Grateful Dead vibe. They've got some pennants to Jerry and the Gang hanging up. And if you take one look at the Oak Creek Tavern sticker, you can tell they've got a connection to the Grateful Dead. There is a permanent stage there with a disco ball. So that tells me that live music is hard baked into the place and that they're having fun doing it. And I found that their claim on the internet was true. I'll read you their claim. Their website says, everybody is welcome here, from hippies to hunters to ranchers, cowboys, coal miners, ski bums, and everybody in between. You'll feel right at home, even if you're visiting from out of town. I found this to be very true. Over the course of the evening, I met a coal miner, a rancher, a former downhill ski racer, an entrepreneur, a guy painting a mural on his truck, some nomads, and other good people there in Oak Creek. It was a wonderful evening. I had a great time performing there. Everyone treated me like I had been playing there for 20 years, like I was their local favorite. They danced, they sang, they made me feel so welcome. They just drew me right in. My wife Mary and our friend Lisa drove down from Steamboat, and they thought, well, we're just gonna hang out for an hour or so. But they fell in so well with the locals that we changed our mind and we stayed there all evening. Lisa ran into someone who was a fellow Wisconsiner. I don't know what the demonym is for someone from Wisconsin, but she found someone from Wisconsin and where she's from, and they immediately launched into a very competitive round of cribbage, which people from Wisconsin tend to play in taverns. So it was just a really, really nice evening. Dory, who was bartending, was so kind and thoughtful. I'm not sure what I enjoyed more, performing there, which was amazing, or sitting after my show and chatting with Dory about life and philosophy and just our experiences. It was a really magical evening. So you're probably asking yourself, what in the world is up with all the hockey stuff? So before the show, I got to talk to a guy named Graham and found out that Oak Creek also has a little hockey rink and a hockey league. They call themselves the Kodiaks. I love it when little Colorado mountain towns have a hockey scene. And Graham is the ice operations manager. He drives a Zamboni. He's a player. He's a coach. He's a linchpin in the local scene. And I found that the Oak Creek Tavern is really proud of this local hockey legacy. They even have a jar right on the bar where you're encouraged to contribute $1 or $2 to the local hockey. I highly recommend that you do this. It's good karma. All this reminded me of a place near me in Manitou that I used to play open mic at called Kinfolks. It's also a bar with live music. It has a slight Grateful Dead connection there, and it's a very welcoming and open place. So welcoming that they will let a guy with questionable hockey skills play on their hockey team. I may not have been the best player on their team. I may have been the worst player on their team, but I am so proud of my Kinfolks jersey, which has a terrapin that to me is reminiscent of the Grateful Dead's Terrapin Station album. Just a great place, and I felt there were parallels there. They're kind of like sister taverns. So it was just a wonderful evening, and I had a great time being there and learning about Oak Creek and their hockey scene. So Oak Creek Tavern is very proud of their hockey legacy. They are very proud of Oak Creek's anonymity. They're happy that people don't know where Oak Creek is. And they've got a really good sense of humor, which all leads them to pose the question, where the puck is Oak Creek? Well, I'm here to tell you, it is right here. So there you have it, Oak Creek Tavern. Thank you everyone for coming out and supporting me. Thank you, Dory, for the kindness, and thank you, Oak Creek Tavern, for booking me. If you're looking to get away, have some fun, kick back, be a local in a Colorado mountain town for just one evening, I highly recommend that you take the road less traveled and visit Oak Creek, Colorado. And go to Oak Creek Tavern, where if you walk in with kindness and a good attitude, they will adopt you for the night. I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. I hope to come back and play there again someday. If you want to follow me on my adventures around Colorado, exploring different areas and craft beer and music, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I have a webpage. But until then, I hope to see you out on the road, at a show, or maybe on the ice. All right, here's to Oak Creek Tavern, here's to Oak Creek, Colorado, and here's to Colorado. Drink it all in.